today to talk about taxes, but it's going to be a totally different thing. It's going to be totally, more educational than anything, because we don't understand taxes. It's nothing that we learn in school. It's nothing that we learn anywhere. Basically, it's something that we learn by the seat of our pants, or we learn by, working for a company and then taking home a lot less than what they tell us that our hourly rate is. Okay, on the left are the tax brackets in the United States, and it's labeled 2026, but this data is from 2022. The IRS is never really current with the information that they provide. And then on the right side, you see the number of tax filers. So you can see in the 0% tax bracket, there's 37 million tax returns. In the 10 to 12%, which is the lower to middle class, they're paying 10 to 12% taxes on their income. There's 78 million people in that category. The upper middle, which is people that are I'd say, between a 160 in income, 160,000 to 400,000, that's upper middle, and that is 35 million people filing tax returns from that category. And then you have your top filers, your multi-millionaires and billionaires. These people are paying 32 to 37% taxes in this country. Now, a lot of times people say, hey, we should be paying our fair share. We should be patriotic. And how do you judge someone's patriotism by, the amount of taxes that they pay? That's ridiculous. You measure patriotism by the way they stand by the country, the way they stand up for the country, the way they stand for our values, things like that. But, politicians always want to measure it by dollars. So you can't say that the people who are in the 0% tax bracket don't have any patriotism. They're poor, some of them because they're lazy, but most of them because they have circumstances that are beyond their control. If you look at this and you see 37 million tax returns that pay zero taxes, and then you skip down to the upper middle class, where you got 35 million people paying between 22 and 24%. And then just above that, you have the 78 million that are paying the 10 to 12% tax bracket. It looks like the majority of the people are in the 78 million tax returns that are paying 10 to 12%. So if you take those 35 million and look at the 37 million who aren't paying anything, it almost looks like if you take that 22% to 24% and divide those numbers by 2, you've got 11 to 12%. So that puts the upper middle class, if you divide their income in 2, into the same as the lower to middle class income bracket, which is the 10 to 12. So it looks like the upper middle class is paying for the lowest taxpayers, the ones who pay 0, because you can take 11%, 12% to pay for themselves, and then take the other 11 to 12% when you divide by 2 and apply that to the people who are paying 0, and basically you balance out, okay? That means that the 78 million people who are paying 10 to 12% are left along with the people who are paying 32 to 37%, those 3 million people who are rich, okay? So you've got basically 81 million people paying for all the bills. That is money that's outflowing, money that's going out. This makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to anybody. And it's the reason our country is bankrupt, which will be in the next video I present. Have a good day and tune in again soon. Good to see you. Bye.